Hello everyone. Today I have a story for you that will show how one short message can destroy trust, love, and an entire marriage. Imagine, it's the middle of the night, you're sleeping next to the person you consider the closest, and suddenly at 3:14 a.m. message appears on his phone. I can't stop thinking about you. What would you do? The night wrapped around our house like a velvet blanket. Outside, gentle rain tapped against the windows in a steady rhythm that usually helped me sleep. But tonight was different. Tonight everything would change. I was drifting in that peaceful space between dreams and consciousness when a soft vibration cut through the silence. My eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the darkness. There on her nightstand, her phone screen glowed like a beacon in the night. 3:14 a.m. The numbers burned into my vision as I read the message preview. Asterisk, can't stop thinking about you. Asterisk. My heart stopped. Time seemed to freeze as those words sank in. I turned my head carefully, studying her sleeping face. She looked so peaceful, so innocent. Not a trace of guilt or deception. Yet here was this message, arriving in the dead of night like a secret whisper. The woman I'd shared my life with for 3 years lay beside me, breathing softly, completely unaware that her carefully constructed world was about to crumble. In that moment I felt something primal rising within me. Not just jealousy but something deeper. The instinct of a man who suddenly realizes he's been living a lie. My hands trembled as I reached for her phone. I knew her passcode by heart. We'd never had secrets before, or so I thought. But when I tried to unlock it, the familiar numbers didn't work. She changed it. Recently. The realization hit me like a punch to the stomach. She'd become smarter. More careful. This wasn't her first rodeo. I placed the phone back gently and stared at the ceiling. Sleep abandoned me completely, replaced by a racing mind and questions that demanded answers. How long had this been going on? Who was he? How many lies had I been fed? Morning came with its usual routine. Coffee brewing, her bright smile, a quick kiss before she left for work. But everything felt different now. I was no longer a participant in our life together. I was an observer watching a performance I'd never noticed before. Over the next few days I became a detective in my own home. I noticed how she never left her phone unattended anymore. It followed her everywhere. To the bathroom, to take out the trash, even when she walked to the mailbox. The device had become an extension of her deception. I couldn't live with the uncertainty. Using my technical background, I set up a backup system that would mirror her notifications to an old device I kept hidden. It felt wrong, but I needed to know the truth. That very night, another message arrived. Asterisk, you looked radiant today. Can't wait to see you again. Asterisk. My world tilted. This wasn't a random flirtation or a moment of weakness. This was an ongoing relationship, complete with regular meetings and intimate exchanges. The woman I'd planned to propose to was living a double life right under my nose. For 6 more days I gathered evidence. Each message was like a dagger to my heart, but I needed to see the full picture. I watched her lie effortlessly about working late, about girls' nights out, about sudden errands. She was a master of deception, and I'd been the perfect fool. The conversations revealed everything. Their meeting places, their shared jokes, even discussions about me. I was reduced to an obstacle in their romantic story, someone to be worked around rather than respected. Part 4. The confrontation. On the 7th night I made my decision. At exactly 3:14 a.m. I gently shook her awake. Her eyes opened, confused and vulnerable in the darkness. Without a word, I placed her phone on the nightstand between us and illuminated the screen. A new message blinked. Asterisk, when does he fall asleep? Asterisk. The color drained from her face as reality crashed down around her. Her mouth opened and closed like she was drowning in air, searching for words that could somehow explain away the unexplainable. Read it aloud, I said, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. Her hands shook as she stared at the screen. The silence stretched between us like a chasm. In that moment I saw her true face for the first time. Not the loving partner, not the woman I'd trusted with my heart, but someone who'd been playing a role for months. I don't want to hear excuses, I said finally. Pack your things. You leave today. I stood up and retrieved the suitcase I'd already prepared for this moment. As I walked toward the door I turned back one last time. She sat there in our bed, surrounded by the wreckage of our relationship, her phone still glowing with evidence of her betrayal. You know what's funny? I said, my hand on the doorknob. Sometimes all it takes is one vibration at 3:14 a.m. to destroy an entire life. I stepped out into the cool night air, leaving her alone with the truth she could no longer hide. Behind me, the phone continued to light up the darkness, telling her story better than any words ever could. That's how their story ended. Her husband left, and her phone screen continued to blink, betraying her with silence and other people's words. Sometimes you don't need proof in your hands, just one message is enough to understand the whole truth. Thanks for watching to the end. Subscribe, there are even more stories ahead that will make you think.